Abigail Adams to John Adams, 13th of July, 1776, Boston. July 13th, 1776. I must begin with apologising to you for not writing since the 17th of June. I have really had so many cares upon my hands and mind with a bad inflammation in my eyes that I have not been able to write. I now date from Boston, where I yesterday arrived and was with all 4 of our little ones inoculated for the smallpox. My uncle and aunt were so kind as to send me an invitation with my family, Mr. Cranch and wife and family, my sister Betsy and her little niece, Cotton Tufts and Mr. Thaxter, a maid who has had the distemper, and my old nurse compose our family. A boy too, I should have added. 17 in all. My uncle's maid with his little daughter and a Negro man are here. We had our bedding, etc. to bring. A cow we have driven down from Braintree, and some hay I have had put into the stable, wood, etc. And we have really commenced housekeepers here. The house was furnished with almost every article, except beds, which we have free use of, and think ourselves much obliged by the fine accommodations and kind offer of our friends. All our necessary stores we purchased jointly. Our little ones stood the operation manfully. Dr. Bullfinch is our physician. Such a spirit of inoculation never before took place. The town and every house in it are as full as they can hold. I believe there are not less than 304 persons from Braintree. Mrs. Quincy, Mrs. Lincoln, Miss Betsy and Nancy are our near neighbours. God grant that we may all go comfortably through the distemper. The physic part is bad enough, I know. I knew your mind so perfectly upon the subject that I thought nothing. But our recovery would give you equal pleasure, and as to safety, there was none. The soldiers inoculated privately. So did many of the inhabitants, and the paper currency spread it everywhere. I immediately determined to set myself about it and get ready with my children. I wish it was so you could have been with us, but I submit. I received some letters from you last Saturday night, 26th of June. You mention a letter of the 16, which I have never received, and I suppose must relate something to private affairs which I wrote about in May and sent by Harry. As to news, we have taken several fine prizes since I wrote you, as you will see by the newspapers. The present report is of Lord Howe's coming with unlimited powers. However, suppose it is so, I believe he little thinks of treating with us as independent states. How can any person yet dream of a settlement, accommodations, etc.? They have neither the spirit nor feeling of men. Yet I see some who never were called Tories, gratified with the idea of Lord Howe's being upon his passage with such powers. Sunday, July 14th. By yesterday's post I received 2 letters dated 3 and 4 of July. And though your letters never fail to give me pleasure, be the subject what it will, yet it was greatly heightened by the prospect of the future happiness and glory of our country. Nor am I a little gratified when I reflect that a person so nearly connected with me has had the honour of being a principal actor in laying a foundation for its future greatness. May the foundation of our new constitution be justice, truth and righteousness. Like the wise man's house, may it be founded upon those rocks, and then neither storms or tempests will overthrow it. I cannot but feel sorry that some of the most manly sentiments in the Declaration are expunged from the printed copy. Perhaps wise reasons induced it. Poor Kennedy, I lament Kennedy, but we ought to be in some measure sufferers for the past folly of our conduct. The fatal effects of the smallpox there has led almost every person to consent to hospitals in every town. In many towns, already around Boston, the selectmen have granted liberty for inoculation. I hope the necessity is now fully seen. I had many disagreeable sensations at the thoughts of coming myself, but to see my children through it I thought my duty, and all those feelings vanished as soon as I was inoculated, and I trust a kind providence will carry me safely through. Our friends from Plymouth came into town yesterday. We have enough upon our hands in the morning. The little folks are very sick then and puke every morning, but after that they are comfortable. I shall write you now very often. Pray inform me constantly of every important transaction. Every expression of tenderness is a cordial to my heart. Unimportant as they are to the rest of the world, to me they are everything. We have had during all the month of June a most severe drought, which cut of all our promising hopes of English grain and the first crop of grass. But since July came in, we have had a plenty of rain, and now everything looks well. There is one misfortune in our family which I have never mentioned, in hopes it would have been in my power to have remedied it. But all hopes of that kind are at an end. It is the loss of your grey horse. About 2 months ago, I had occasion to send Jonathan of an errand to my uncle Quincy's, the other horse being a ploughing. Upon his return, a little below the church, she trod upon a rolling stone, and lamed herself to that degree that it was with great difficulty that she could be got home. I immediately sent for Tyrrell, and everything was done for her by baths, ointments, poulticing, bleeding, etc. That could be done. Still she continued extreme lame, though not so bad as at first. I then got her carried to Domet, but he pronounces her incurable, as a callus is grown upon her footlock joint. You can hardly tell, not even by your own feelings, how much I lament her. She was not with foal, as you imagined, but I hope she is now, as care has been taken in that respect. I suppose you have heard of a fleet which came up pretty near the light and kept us all with our mouths open, ready to catch them. But after staying near a week and making what observations they could, set sail and went off to our great mortification, who were prepared for them in every respect. If our ship of 32 guns, which was built at Portsmouth and waiting only for guns, and another of at Plymouth in the same state, had been in readiness, we should in all probability been masters of them. Where the blame lies in that respect I know not. 'Tis laid upon Congress, and Congress is also blamed for not appointing us a general. But Rome was not built in a day. I hope the multiplicity of cares and avocations which envelop you will not be too powerful for you. I have many anxieties upon that account. Nabby and Johnny send duty and desire. Mamma to say that an inflammation in their eyes, which has been as much of a distemper as the smallpox, has prevented their writing, but they hope soon to be able to acquaint Papa of their happy recovery from the distemper. Mr. Cranch and wife, Sister Betsy and all our friends desire to be remembered to you, and foremost in that number stands your Portia. P.S. A little India herb would have been mighty agreeable now. If you enjoyed exploring the letters between Abigail and John Adams, please give this video a thumbs up, share it with fellow history enthusiasts, and leave a comment with your thoughts or questions. Don't forget to check out the description for homeschool materials that delve deeper into their fascinating lives and contributions.